this is Mika. Hello, hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft-related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And I am just giving sort of a modern witch slice of life, late afternoon to evening vlog. That's what this is. So I want to start with something I did that afternoon, which is cleanse my new cards. So these are the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle cards. I just recently talked about these on a live. Check that out if you haven't, if you want to see more about these cards. They're stunning. They're beautiful. Love them. So let's get into it. So the first thing, one of the things that I strongly believe in is, I know a lot of people think about cleansing cards and taking something out of, the previous person's energy that might have been looking, the distributors, the manufacturers, and so forth, hands that may have touched this other than your own. And that's great. That's a great way of thinking about it. Also, I would suggest put into the cards. What energy are you putting into the cards? So shuffling the cards is you putting energy. Now, you can take as long as you like to shuffle, but that is a way of putting your energy into the cards that you have, or I should say the deck. So the next thing is a smoke cleanse. So your herbal blend, burn, that incense stick, cone, what have you. But yeah, you can use the smoke from burning those herbs or incense to cleanse your deck. I definitely prefer this. Honestly, it's a little bit more easier. Do a shuffle, put my energy in, cleanse any residual energy out. However, it's also an opportunity to cleanse and then put certain types of energy, positive energy. So you're going to be careful about the herbs or the incense that you choose for that purpose. Just something to keep in mind. There's no one right way to do any of this. Use your intuition. Let that guide you on the best way to go. Now, I'm demonstrating different ways that I personally cleanse and actually re-cleanse. Sometimes, if I've been working with the cards or if I haven't worked with them in a while, I'll do a quick cleanse. The oil is another way. There is barely any oil on my hand. It's not enough to warp or to ruin these cards, but enough to get on to each of the cards. So I'm trying to demonstrate that here for you. That's just another step you can do as well. Just a dab. Please do not put a bunch of oil in your hands and wipe them all over the cards. You won't like that. Trust me. Just a dab and then put it in both hands and rub it across like I'm doing here. You can use words of power or charm as, casting a cleansing spell, if you will, over the cards. So you could speak that at the same time while you're doing all of these techniques. Another thing I like to do is crystals. It could be one crystal. You'll see where I get into it and I'm adding, mugwort as well. And additional crystals that might have more meanings. Again, this is an opportunity to take it up a notch besides just cleansing. Yes, we're cleansing the deck. However, we're also adding our intentions as for the use. It's a tool, right? So this that's clear quartz. So I'm using that because I want clarity. I want increased psychic ability. I'm calling in that energy into the tool that is the oracle deck that I'm, cleansing or working with right now. You can speak that aloud as well. So you'll see I'll add other crystals within different intentions. So, tiger's eye for protection. So I want to make sure that the messages that I receive, I can trust, especially if I'm working with any deities or anything like that. Now, of course, you can do some sort of ritual before you do that anyway, but, I'm just being proactive and doing all that right now at the beginning, the onset of getting the cards. And that's what you see me here, sort of loading this up with different things. And you can put, yes, just an herb on top of it. You can leave that overnight. You can leave that on the next full moon or even new moon cycle. It's totally up to you. Use your intuition. It's not about, again, doing it right. It's more following what makes sense to you. And if you're doing something because you have no idea what else to do, but it isn't making sense, you know what? I would say quiet the other voices, maybe take a break, meditate so that it can come to you. Sometimes we need stillness. That's the biggest part of witchcraft for a lot of us, is you need some level of just quiet your mind, even for just a little bit, and things can come to you. That's why for a lot of us, it's not until we fall asleep that we get these dreams and we get these messages, or even on the way to sleep, in that little twilight area, that lucid space, or not quite lucid space that you're in before you go to sleep. Yeah, that's when we get those messages, because we're finally quieting down a little bit. So you have all the answers inside of you, and you have ancestors, you have spirit, you have the universe, and you have teachers also here on earth that have been put into place to help guide you. So keep that in mind as well. I have found if I write it down, it makes it real. It makes it doable. It being whatever, if I write it down, it's real. So I also write down things that, I'm actively working on. I goal track. I have a whole planner for just tracking my goals. I'm writing my wellness planner. I like to log my meals, my moods, my sleeping patterns as well, because I have been finding, and especially if you're like taking medication, things that affect your hormones, you want to start paying attention to that, because it affects certain things you're doing, especially during the full moon or the new moon. Are you finding that you're having certain responses? Are you more psychically aware? Are you more empathetic? Is your empath skills sort of on a 10 at a certain time of the month? Maybe track that. You can use that for your benefit. You can use that when you're trying to divine information, you're trying to sort through things. Use those dates, keep track of that sort of information. So I also like to set myself up for the week by writing out my goals, my list, things like that, and what I've accomplished, what I haven't. And just sort of cross-referencing and setting up a plan. Now, do things always go as planned? Not yet. There's usually something, but I'm one of those people, I like having a list. I like having something to check off, a to-do, if you will, that lets me know I needed to do these items magically, spiritually, clients, all of that. I like having a list. It just helps my mind, which means I can be all in with my magic. Did you know that all food is sacred? Yes. Eat what you need, share what you can, and express gratitude. That's something I actually wrote down in my book of shadows in my section about food correspondences. So I'm going to be making a shrimp dinner. It's something really quick and simple. I'm going to just take some frozen shrimp. That's what you just saw in a bowl, defrosting. Heat up this pan. We're going to add some butter and some seasoning and pour that shrimp once it's cooked over some rice with a salad. However, where's the magic in all this? Let me explain to you. First of all, that's my altar off to the left by my trusty glass of wine. That is my kitchen altar. Honestly, that's probably not the only one. We could say where the coffee machine is also its own altar. But that is my bona fide kitchen altar right there. It's simple, just a cute little Tiffany-esque lamp that I got from a Goodwill store, some gifted witchy spoons, and a little something something in that tin there. So essentially, this is a place I can call in kitchen spirits to aid, to offer knowledge, to help me work on whatever I'm working on and whatever I'm cooking, whatever I'm brewing up, so to speak. So I will say this. If you're using, for instance, you saw I had that rice, that's pre-cooked rice, you just microwave it, and that's it. If you're using items like this in your life, okay, remember, all food is good food. We're not going to do this. We're not going to say, oh, you're not vegan, you're not this, you're not this, oh, you eat processed foods. Listen, these are modern times, and modern times cause modern issues, yes, but also we have to live in this world. Realistically, I would love to be able to eat everything grown from my home. I would love to be able to source natural, no chemical added foods. I think we all would like that. However, that's just not happening. That's not possible. I'm not in a tax bracket to make that happen. Not at this time. Maybe after this kitchen magic I will be, we'll see. But actually what I'm working on is for psychic abilities, increasing psychic awareness and ability. So that's where the shrimp comes in. So shrimp, actually, seafood in general has everything to do with the water element. Yes. So like that flowing energy, that's what I'm going for. So I really could have use any seafood for this, but we chose, I chose shrimp. So also fertility is associated a lot with fish in general, fish slash seafood, and psychic powers. So that's why this was going to be perfect. So how do you make this magical besides being intentional about the items that you're picking? The other way is to speak over your food. Be in alignment, in the present, in alignment with what you're doing. What is your outcome? Just be in a state of that energy. Dairy, butter, things of that, also really kind of associated with fertility. And I'm working on increase right now. I want to increase psychic ability, psychic awareness. If you didn't know, I read cards as one of my, for a living, one of my living things that I do. But go to leaptaken.com and check that out, by the way. But I want to increase that. I'm in this chapter of my life. I want to tap in to that, into my psychic abilities, even more so. And let's get into garlic. First of all, if you didn't know, get those garlic cubes. They sell them at Target and at Trader Joe's. They're like super cheap, and it makes things very simple instead of just chopping up garlic. Again, we are not shaming witches for using modern conveniences. Garlic is great for protection. Garlic is also associated with Hecate, which makes sense for me because I work with Hecate. So I'm just going to go ahead and cook up the shrimp. So I added a lemon herb seasoning blend, no salt added, but I did add salt, which is grounding. Lemon is for purification, kind of refresh, that fresh energy. That's what I'm going for, that type of energy overall. I also added some basil. Basil is all about prosperity. I would like to become more prosperous with this skill as well. That doesn't necessarily equate just money. Prosperous meaning very knowledgeable. I've gained the experiences. I've had the experiences, and I've been prosperous in that, so to speak. And then eventually, I'll go ahead and start plating in just a moment, and I'm adding fresh ingredients to my plate as well because I want that live, organic energy of plant food as well. Because there's definitely psychic abilities with plants They don't speak, but they communicate. That's telling you something right there. So yeah, I'm going to want to consume that as well. Again, a very real modern witch here. I like to watch TV when I'm eating. So across the room, I do have my TV going. And you know what? I found a fun show that has sort of a spiritual component to it. It's on the Hallmark Channel of all places to stream. So I have Hallmark's Movie Now, or Hallmark's Movie, I forgot what it's called, the app on my Apple TV. And oh yeah, that food's really good, by the way. And I went ahead and watched something, it's called Girlfriendship. Really interesting movie for Hallmark. It's pretty much an all black characters in it. They are, the women are on a spiritual retreat supposedly by accident, and it's just very interesting how it unfolds, but it was witchy enough for me. I strongly suggest that you find a way to add more witchy content into your life, especially for some of us who struggle with being consistent with our witchcraft practices. I like to read, so that's where this is coming in. So I am reading a witchy book that I got recently. I'll be reviewing that, by the way, coming up soon on my Saturday Live. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think it's good to have practices, meditation, something where you get to be quiet. Listen, I love my phone as just like the rest of us, but sometimes we need to have, if not every night, some nights, where you kind of quiet down and you just kind of absorb information, and it's really chill if possible. Also, after a wind down, for me, I'm next step is go to bed. Get into the bed. Make your bed in the morning. It helps. At night, it's just something about that made up bed that's perfect. But I've been doing something very, very recently where I'm trying to attune myself to whatever spell work or ritual that I've been working on. In this case, psychic ability has been the thing for me. So I have off camera a log with different crystals on it. And in my mind's eye, there's energy emanating. And it's a place for me sort of to just tap into spirit, for lack of better words. That's the easiest way to explain. And that's basically what I'm doing here. I suggest you have some sort of spiritual, whether it's a prayer at night or just take a beat. And I know life is hard. People have kids, think dogs to walk, things to do, spouses. But if you can just take a few minutes just for yourself to connect with your spirituality, That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I'm going to end it here. Thanks again for watching. Please hit like, subscribe, share. Consider hitting the join button and go to leaptaken.com to check out my services. And with this, I will say good night.